What's good, my loves and fellow creatives? We're doing a 10-minute tease template tutorial. Say that 5 times fast. I won't try it. So what we're going to do today is just take this design and do a little switch out. And I'll be showing you how to change the colors and, of course, the main image and even this text. Now, this font is a font that is available at innatelab.com. It's right now it's just a $3 font, and so right now I try to keep all of the files as inexpensive as possible in the font so that you all can really work with some tools. So let me know how this works out for you. You can change the text, the colors, and the images here, and this is what we're going to do. For the color inspiration, I picked a shoe. This was the Air Jordan 1 Retro High Biohack, and it has some really unconventional color combinations, so I like that. And I'm just using those different colors to show you how you can take any design and make it your own color palette, make it your own thing. All right, so hey Erica, hey love. We're going to go ahead and get started with this so that hopefully we can make this available for Saturday. So let's do it. Let's do it. I picked an image I thought was so cute. Someone submitted from the NA Creatives group. So let me go ahead and go to my Remove BG. And let's drag in our image here. I just thought this was adorable. So we're going to go ahead and download this one. Now, quite naturally, this is easier and quicker than hand cutting this image in Photoshop. Sometimes I have to do it, most times I don't, and that is what I'm grateful to this Remove BG for. All right, so now that I have my image, I'm going to drag it from my folder. First, I'm going to select the area where my photos are. So I'm going to right click and choose cartoons. And then I'm going to drag my image right above the cartoons. So for instance, this is a photo layer here. And I'm going to drag it right above this layer. So opening my folder, I see my PNG version of the image. I'm dragging it. You see that plus sign comes up. Drop it like it's hot. And instantly we go from a different world cast to a different breed. And of course you can change those texts. Sometimes I'm so worried about designing that I don't really get to spend a lot of time being creative with the puns and all. So y'all help me out with that sometimes. You see a design like, hey, what would it look like if you said this instead? I appreciate that because I need y'all's ideas too. All right, and we do have a couple of areas where the image is cut off because, of course, the image has to stop somewhere, and typically it's going to leave a hard edge somewhere. So the absolute first thing we're going to do is manipulate the photo. I'm going to take the text off just for a second, and I'm going to add a layer mask to the photo. Now that I have that layer mask on there, I'm going to choose my paintbrush tool. My mask is white to reveal all, and I want to make sure that I have black selected here. So I'll choose my default brushes or default color, pull my black to the foreground, and then I'm holding down Control Alt, right click and drag, and I get a bigger brush here. And I just have my soft round brush selected, which is default to Photoshop. And I'm just going to brush away, even though I know that's not showing down there at the bottom, just in case my text happens to move. I don't want to see any hard lines there. And then I'm going to kind of fade off this area out here. That's just my way to kind of deal with cut off photos. Okay, and to me, it's just a lot less jarring on the eyes, and it looks a little more seamless and natural. Okay, so I'm going to turn off my different world cast. I just put that in there for you all to play with. I'm going to turn back on the words now. Now what we're going to get into is doing the whole switch up. So for the colors, I'm going to choose colors that are, let's see, I see some teals, pinks, oranges there. If anyone right now has a color palette that you want me to show you how I can bring in a shoe or bring in a color palette, let me know what the name of the shoe is or name of the color palette is that I can pull in, and I can show you how to create your color palette from a shoe or from anything. So let's see, I have a little question here. Oh, this is your first live? Welcome. Where can you get the shirt template? innatelab.com. This one isn't up quite yet. I'm making the video tutorial for it now. We will have a sale going on. It's a flash sale. I usually do it once a month, and for 24 hours, all the templates are half off. So that's going to be this Saturday. And I'm going to not put the link because I think sometimes these things get hacked. So I'm just using code here, innatelab.com, if that makes sense. So just make sure you put a dot where it says dot. So let's go ahead and finish editing this one. So I'm looking for some sort of, and I don't know, like the popular sneakers and stuff. I used to pay attention to a lot of that stuff because I would do the sneaker circuits, but I've been out of the loop lately, hoping to get back once we get out of this corona mess. So let's just bring in any, let's do a Nike Air Max. Just find any color Nike Air Max. And I'm even going to find some with some, oh, I found some with some print in it. I don't know if this is anything anybody would wear. I probably would, just because I'm weird like that. It has a little denim, some, what's that, little leopard print. So let me save this image. And I'm going to show you exactly my process of doing the whole sneaker tees. And it saved it as a WebP file, so I'm going to see if Remove BG will open that type of file. So let's drop it in, see what happens. Nope, only JPEG and PNG. So let me show y'all something. You know how you get those WebP files online now? You can go to the folder, go to right click, and open it with regular old Paint. You see my Paint program opened on my other window. Then we go to File, Save As, save it as a JPEG. There we go. And I'll save it in the same location. Any transparency, there's no transparency there, so we'll just say okay. And then I do bring it into Remove BG, and I just do the free version of it because let's go here now. Let's just drag it right from here to the, and I guess it was transparent with the WebP image. So I probably could have saved it as a PNG and saved me a little trouble here. But let's go ahead and just download the preview image so we don't have to use up any credits, and it's free. Save it there. And I can drag from my browser right onto my artboard. And now we're going to make this design match this shoe, which is probably an equally funky looking color scheme. I don't know. I was supposed to show you something kind of probably a little more standard. But hey, if I'm going to do it, let's do it. So this way I can show you how you can drop textures in and not just always colors. So this will be interesting. All right, so I have a new color palette inspiration. I'm going to turn off my old shoe, and then I have this color palette here that I'm going to go ahead and preset with what I want my colors to be. Now already this kind of Volt green color, I'm going to right click. I know that's color 5 because I'm touching on something here, And usually what's at the top is what I'm closest to touching. So I'm going to go color 5. I can turn it off and on with the visibility just to make sure that's what I'm messing with. And I'm going to double click on the effects here. Okay, once I double click on the effects, I see that I have a color overlay active right now. And I'm not going to replace it because I want this colorway to be available for the next person. So I'm just going to hit the plus sign on the color overlay and create a new color. So this one is going to be more of this color. It's a little different. All right, so I'll say okay to that color change. And what else? We have some really weird like pinks and like a mint green. I think I'm going to change the teal here, the color palette, color number 3. So I'll change that to the mint color. Like I said, these are some unconventional colorways. I should have probably chosen something with a little bit, cleaner, regular colorway. And because I'm not happy with how that green kind of picked, I'm shifting the color to be a little bit cleaner than I'm picking here. And I could also brighten up this image a little bit, but I don't know. Like, these are images you're picking from the internet. You really don't know what you're getting yourself into. All right, so I'll choose that as my mint color. That's cool. All right, and for the denim here, I think I'm going to choose the blue. I'm going to change the blue. But if I wanted to, I can actually bring in the texture of denim and make it whatever I want it to be. All right, so let's choose that light denim. And I'm moving my cursor around this color picker, and it's picking different colors depending on which pixel I'm touching. So sometimes I'm getting more gray, sometimes I'm getting more blue. And I think I like that there. Of course, now I'm going to change this pink color. And I like to stick with like light colors, changing those first because it gives me an idea of what my overall change is going to look like. Oh, you know what? I changed the color. I didn't mean to. I think I did that for the last couple. Let me undo that. What I meant to do, instead of changing the color overlay over it, I'm going to go back a few. So I believe I did it for this one. For color 5, yeah, I was supposed to just add a new one. So let's do that again. Now you get a little practice in. So for the teal, let's go to color 3, double click on the FX, and instead of changing the color, I'm going to add a new color on top so my other one stays there. And that's mainly for you all. Like, because when I show you a colorway, I like to preserve the colorway for you, just in case you happen to be doing a project with the same color theme. All right, so I have that kind of sagey mint green and the blue. We're going to change that one to the light denim. So I'm going to add a color overlay, change it to the light denim. The pink, we'll go to color 4. And like I said, once you kind of get used to this process, you get a lot quicker with it. So instead of the hot pink, we're going to go with, it's kind of like a purpley pink. And I honestly like more of this rose color. All right, so we're going to have a wacky, another wacky colorway. All right, let's go that one. All right, so let's see, anything else? This orange one, I'm just going to go ahead and, I'm not going to use the orange for the color palette. I always keep like black and white just because they are my standards. And then what I'll do, I'm going to turn this top one, instead of yellow, I'm going to turn it into the tan color, but I'm going to look for a leopard print that I can bring in. So yes, my base color, I'm making it that tan color, But in my mind, when I think of the tan, I'm really going to replace it with pattern. Maybe I'll do the same thing for the denim. Depends on whether it really makes a difference. All right, so we have this color palette. It looks really wacky, but I think it's going to work out. All right, here we go. Let's start changing the colors of the graphic now. First thing you may want to change is just the background pattern. Don't worry about the words right now because they can always be changed last. I'm going to close up my color palette. And if you don't know where your background stuff is, let's say it's all truncated and you don't know what part of the layer it is, right click somewhere on your artboard and you see there's abstract pattern, there's the grunge, because I have like a little grungy overlay, and then there's the gradient fill. Lo and behold, this is all you're touching right now. So I'm going to go to the abstract pattern, and it took me to this folder. I can open it up. And I can see that I have all of these little layers here. And each layer is a different color. So all I have to do is double click on the effects. And because I pre-selected my palette, I'm going to add a color overlay and just choose that new color. The other thing I can do is I can go to that color swatch, copy the layer style and paste it. But this is actually simpler because I don't have to go all the way back up and down the layers. So I'm double clicking on the, which one is this one now? I could just kind of have to remember, like, so this one is the yellow, and I'm going to double click on this one. I'm going to make this one the tan. So I'm going to add a color overlay, grab that tan. Okay. This one is the teal color. We changed that to the mint color. So I'm going to double click on the effects. Add a color overlay, make that the little mint sage color. Cool. Let's see, there is another, oh, there's another color that I have. Did I ever turn it off? I'm trying to think why I have it turned off. Maybe just a little too distracting. But you have another color option here too. I like it more with the background showing through there, but who knows? Maybe once we change the color, it'll do something a little different. But this is, oh, I know what it is. So the shoe that I had before had this weird color that was only at the bottom, and when I put it as the main part of the design, it was too distracting. So when I put it as only a glow from the bottom, it kind of matched how the shoe only had that color at the bottom. So you have this option to turn this layer on, and let's see what color we want to turn it to. Double click on the effects, do a new color overlay, and probably, would it be that color? I kind of like it juxtaposed against that pink right there. I think that's pretty. All right, let's try the next one. It's never exactly what you think it's going to be. All right, so let's do black. I like my black. I like to keep black, but black also has a drop shadow on it. So it has a color overlay and a drop shadow. And that's where that hot pink is coming into play. So if you ever have a color that you want to kind of subtly put in there, maybe I'll do that with the little lime green. Okay, so we subtly put that color in there without it being so overpowering. And maybe you do want to make it overpowering. That's all up to you. Like I said, this stuff is so subjective. It's all based on your eye, your feels, and what you want to see. Now, same thing here. I have this gradient, and as a matter of fact, did I do exactly what I told y'all not to do? Drop shadow. I changed my drop shadow color. Now, well, you know, for the drop shadow, you don't get an opportunity. Yeah, you do get an opportunity to change one, so I'm being lazy. Let me go back. And there we go. So I'm going to go back, and for the drop shadow, it did give me an option to add a different drop shadow. So then I can preserve my hot pink from before, grab that lime green. There we go. Now, same thing with this little spike triangle area here. I can choose that one. There's a drop shadow. I can double click on the drop shadow. Just add a new drop shadow and make that the green. And it kind of goes with that. Now I also have this glowing area. And what I want to do for this, instead of changing the actual gradient, let's do an effect and let's do a color overlay. And let's do let's see. I don't think am I going to be able to do a color overlay with a gradient that goes. I have to change the blend mode for that. And that's not what I want to do. So how are we going to do this? I'm going to change this gradient to a black and white. Okay, and then I'm just going to rasterize it. I'm going to get rid of the layer mask. So you won't have to do this. I'm going to rasterize it. And then that way I can do a color overlay. All right, so let's just color overlay this with, we'll pick which color from the palette. So color overlay, I have normal selected. We're just going to play with the palette here. So see how I'm picking the different colors and seeing what really speaks to me. Oh, that mint did a little something. I like that. And the pink against the green, that looks really good. The green definitely stands out. And even white. White kind of just makes it separate and come right back to the image there. That's a little hard. What do y'all think? Jackie, I just made this color palette. All it is some rectangles. You just make you some rectangles and then do a color overlay to make them whatever color you want. Oh, thanks for the love. I see you. I see the super chat. So yes, that's how you get the palette to the left side. I just created some rectangles and I just duplicated them. Usually I don't have more than 8 colors to a palette, but just depending on what you're working on. You like the green? This, the sagey green or the bright green? And T says white. I mean, I'm kind of feeling the white too. It almost lets it stay funky up top and then kind of cleans it up in the middle and lets it get funky again at the bottom. Let's stick with the white because the other one, so I have a representation with the bold color. So this one's going to be a little more palatable of a palette, even though it's not really. Okay, so I showed y'all how to change out the colors. Before I show you how to put the pattern in there instead of color, let me go ahead and change the text here. Okay, so same thing we did before. We're going to right click, find out what we're touching. We're touching text with glow. Inside of that, it's a letter A. Now keep in mind this is an editable font, but if you did not purchase the font, you won't be able to edit this font. So if you want to edit the font, make sure that you purchase and download the font from NA Lab. All right, so let's go ahead and pick what colors are going to be here. And this is another hard part. Double click on the effects. Matter of fact, let's choose the word different. Since it's longer, I think it would give us a better indication of what color we want. So it has a gradient overlay. If you can see here, it's going from like this teal to the blue. Now I'm going to add a new gradient overlay because I want to keep my old stuff. I want to keep that alternate color palette for you. So let's go to change out our gradients, and we have 2 color stops. So we're going to play with the gradient. Let's start with, let's do the sage green. I don't know, because sage green isn't really the standout color. Let's do the bright green. And what do we want the bright green to touch? We can do bright green to white. Let's do the green to the pink. I think I like that. And then you can do, you know, you don't have to do a gradient. You can do solid colors. Y'all know I get gradient crazy. Y'all know this. Y'all see all these little gradients I make every time I make a tutorial for y'all. So this one we're doing pink to green, okay? And if we want to do the exact same thing to all of them, then we will right click, copy the layer style, and then we're going to click Control and hold down every one that we want to change the same, and we'll paste the layer style. And there we have that propagated. Now let's say that you want to try to use all the colors. So maybe the A, this is where we get fancy. So the A, I'm going to flip. So I'm going to reverse this. All right, so that it looks like it's continuing from here to here. And then instead of pink, I will make it go to, what color do I want it to go to? The denim blue, I don't really see it. I want the denim blue to touch the pink though. I think the denim blue touching the pink is going to be cute. So let's make it just go to that sage color. And then I can push more of the color down if I want to, so that I get less of the previous color and more of my next color. So I'm going to keep it like that just to kind of show you how you can make this go from one color to the next. I'm going to select breed now, double click there, and for this gradient overlay, we're going to reverse it again. So the pink stays up top, and this time instead of the green, let's go with that denim. I'm okay with that. So we're getting a little bit of the sage green, the bright green, the pink, and then the light denim color. I'm cool with that. Like I said, this is all about what you want to see, what you're playing with. I just happen to pick some little funky colored shoes, so it is what it is. And then what I may do also, I'll do this if you remind me to do this. When I drop the pattern into the tan color, remind me and I'll show you how to drop the pattern into the word different, okay? All right. So you'll be able to change this however you wish. And then of course there's a glow on here, but the glow is on the entire text group. So if you see where it says text with glow, just double click on that outer glow and you can change that glow to any of your other colors. All right, so I'll make it stand out with the green. And you can also turn off the glow. Let's say you don't want the glow, you just want the text as is. You can have it just like that. So maybe I'll take off the glow and do a version where it's just more flat colors, no gradients. I'm just showing you how to change this stuff. So yeah, for this one, I think what I'm going to do is drop the leopard print inside the words, maybe just inside of one word, and then we'll make it more of a solid look to it without all the glow. Then you have a version with the glow that has the characters and a version without the glow that has our beautiful ladies here. Okay, so let's move it on. All right, so I took the glow off. You'll have to turn it back on if you want it on for the alternate version. And I think that's it for showing you how to change this out, but I want to show you some variations. So I have a few examples of how this is set up. I just want to show you what's on here. You have this grunge layer. Okay, it kind of makes your colors not look so flat, gives a little dimension to the colors. But if you like the flat colors, there it goes. You also have this little, little spiky area down here that you can turn off or on. So let's say you just want to fade to white. You can turn those off or on. Let's say that you wanted to make this a file where it faded up to white at the top and had the pattern at the bottom. You can turn on this layer mask here and then turn off your spikies. turn off this gradient fill, and now you have the image, the pattern coming from the bottom, fading up to the top, and your background is black right now, but you can also make your background white. Bam. Cool stuff, huh? And this is what keeps me up at night. No, really, I think I get a little carried away almost every time I do this. So I'm always throwing extra stuff in there, and I tell y'all I'm going to keep it simple, and then I get carried away. All right, so next step, I want to show you how to bring in a pattern and use it instead of a color overlay. So let's go ahead, let's find us a pattern. Let's find us a leopard print. Let's see, leopard print. And go to images. And it doesn't have to be exact, but I am looking for something that is large size. Now, what you really want to look for something that is seamless. And that image is more like a playful type of leopard print. As a matter of fact, let me see if I can split screen here. It's not a literal leopard print. It's more like this one. And this happens to be a leopard print rug. So looks like that's a good resolution. Let's open image in a new tab. I like to do that because I want to make sure that I'm actually getting a high resolution image, because a lot of times they're lying to us. So I can work with this one, and then I can tone down the orange so that it's more brown. So let's right click, save the image, and before we bring it in, I'm going to make sure that I have this layer selected. So right click, I'm going to my 80s 90s retro layer, and I am going to, straight from my folder, drop it like it's hot onto my artboard. Okay, it's going to throw things off a little bit. It's just there, right? It doesn't know what to attach itself to. It's just a little interrupting cow at the moment. And the kids like to talk about the interrupting cow. All right, now I need to make sure that this is big enough to fit my entire width, but I want it small enough to where I can see my print. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to drag this to the top just while I edit this, because I want to kind of tile this, because I want my spots to say small. So I'm going to Alt, click and drag. I'm going to make another version of this, and this is probably not tileable, which is cool. So I have a couple of options here. One thing is I'm going to take this one, Control T, and I'm going to flip it horizontal. So it kind of, let me try that again. I think I just inadvertently shifted it or rotated it. So Control T, I'm going to right click, flip horizontal, hit enter. And all I'm doing is taking what I already made and just kind of nudging it over, seeing if that made it look more believable. And it did not. So because this is not a seamless pattern, I'm going to create a layer mask on this one and just fade off this edge, and then see, sometimes when I fade things off it looks more believable when you seam it back together. So I'm going to fade it off and see what happens. All right, so I just faded it off on the layers. I didn't delete any pixels here. I just faded off a little bit. And now I can get a little more technical. If I wanted to go in and take off individual little spots, I can. And this is why it's probably best to just go ahead and grab yourself a real true seamless pattern, which I should have done that. Because I don't trust these spots. I don't trust that it's going to do what I want it to do. The thing about it is you rarely see these seams. When you're using it as a fill, you rarely see the seams, but when you do, you're like, ah, dang, that's where I duplicated that seam. And that would work for me just for now, but let me show you the difference. Let me show you what you would look for if you want to not have to deal with this. Look for the word seamless. Seamless. I'm trying to give y'all some gems that keep you from working too hard. And here's a seamless one. Now this one happens to be iStock. Backed Easy. This one might be free. Hey. Let's see. And I think I still have my Backed Easy accounts. Oh, this one has glitter in it. Of course, that one's a premium one though. Oh, this was a pro one too. Let me see if I still have my little pro account. Sometimes I'm worse than y'all. I am worse than y'all. I buy things too. I buy stock images. I buy subscriptions, like pro level subscriptions and stuff, so that I can download and use these type of things in my templates. So I can't say nothing about y'all taking advantage of my little sales and my little flash sales, because Lord knows that I have my own issue. Let me see if it's still active on Vecteezy. Let's see. And it's not, but I'm gonna go ahead and do it because I use this one a lot. I was using this one a lot. Or is there another one I'm using? Oh Lord, let's just go ahead and get this thing so then I can show y'all what the difference is to. Well, now it's taking too long for me to check out. It's making me doubt my purchase. Free pick. I know I got a free pick account. Let's see if free pick has one, because I think I'm already signed in. Hold on. I can't be letting all my little details on the internet. Oh, let's see. So let's see if we can do leopard print. Same thing. Leopard, leopard print, seamless. I can't remember which one it is, leopard or cheetah. I think leopard is the one that has the 3 colors, and cheetah is the one that just has. I don't know. I could be making that up too. Y'all don't let me lie to y'all. All right, so this one looks good. That one looks like we can work with it. So it's going to download an EPS format, which is vector, but I should be usually it'll also give me a either a JPEG or a PNG version of it. So seamless pattern with leopard skin. I'm sure I have this even downloaded somewhere. I promise y'all I download the same things over and over again just to not look for them. So show in the folder. Let us extract it. And it will open in a new folder. So there's my JPEG version. And then this is my vector version. Normally I do, like if I'm designing this for myself, I keep the vector versions in the file. But it doesn't seem to help you all because a lot of you don't have Illustrator as well, so I end up reworking it. So what I'm going to do is go ahead and change these colors up while I have this here. Matter of fact, I'm going to delete this one. I'm going to show y'all the right way. I'm going to show you the real seamless way. And then I'm going to take my shoe and bring it over here only because I want to make sure. Oh, that's not the shoe. Right click, select my shoe, drag and drop it like it's hot. There we go. All right, so I'm looking to make sure my colors are pretty much the same. So I'm going to take my magic wand, grab this main tan color. I'm going to create a new layer, and let's use our paint bucket tool. I'm going to Alt select my tan, and now that picked up the color from the shoe, and now I'm going to replace that color. So I'm going to paint that color right there. You see, it's on its own layer, so I did not edit the original. And then I'm going to do the same thing with the inside brown color. Zoom in a little bit to grab that one. So new layer. I don't want to paint on this old layer. I'm going to Control D to deselect. And I'm going to grab just this little inside color now. But I have to grab it from the background layer. And see how it selects all of it? And that's because I do not have contiguous turned on. If I had contiguous turned on, it'd be another story. So It selected all of that color, and I'm going to replace that color. So on my new layer, I'm going to grab my paint bucket. I'm going to Alt click and get that brown color, and then I'm going to paint there. So now I can take my shoe off. I just want to delete that layer. Do Control D so I can make sure everything looks filled in. And oh, I don't have my black color, but this looks fine. So I can take this right here, right now, and make a pattern out of it. I believe, let's go to edit and define pattern. So let's make that a pattern. It's going to ask us to name it, and I'm going to call it Leopard Print Seamless. And now that I have created this as a pattern, I can go back. Which layer was it? Which color was it that we made tan? Not that one. This one. So right in front of this one, I'm going to add a new layer that is going to be filled with a pattern. So a new fill layer, and instead of solid color or gradient, we're going to choose pattern. And I'm going to click on this one that says use previous layer to create a clipping mask, and it's automatically going to clip it to this particular color layer. My pattern fill showed up on my other screen, so I'm dragging it down here, and I should be able to select the pattern that I just made. All right, and let's go ahead and say okay. Oh, I know what it is. It's not previewing because my color lay effects, I have a blend mode on here. And I have to make sure that the blending options have this one turned off, that turned on. You see how it's starting to show through? I don't know why I click these other ones. It's just my kind of default. All right, and I'm going to say okay. And now we see that the pattern clipped inside of there. But guess what? We can edit this pattern. I can change the size of it. So the scale of it right now is 100. I can make it 45 and see it became smaller. I can make it 12 and it's even smaller. So this is a cool thing to play with. If you are in the Innate Academy class, the sock course that we did taught you all about creating your own patterns. So we created patterns out of faces. Y'all know those face socks that have the repeating faces and everything. We use this pattern fill feature to create our own patterns with faces. So I'm thinking maybe like 35 gives us like a good enough amount where we can see it, but it's not too overpowering. Let's see. I like that. I like it. And I don't feel the need to throw denim, because the more textures you put in here for a big image like this, the heavier you're making your file. So I don't see the need to put denim into the blue, because now that it has that kind of grunge wash to it, it almost looks like an acid wash jean. Okay. So I'm not going to like weigh down my file by putting another texture in there. But what do you think? Do y'all like the pattern or not? Thought I lost y'all for a second. I got too many windows open. Let me close some of these things down, because I know when I'm recording, my computer in this live session does not like all these windows open. Felicia, you were there for that tutorial. Cool. And Tara, what I do is I put free stuff. This right now is a free video. I'm going to leave it up on YouTube for all of my loves. And in the academy, we have like classes. So the classes is not just me talking and showing y'all stuff. It's actually other students, or if you're in a live class, you're in the class and you are performing the work. You're doing all the work. You're doing the heavy lifting. I'm just showing you step by step how to do it. And you have access to those pre-recorded classes. So absolutely, if you want those replays, join the academy. You get 4 courses right off the bat. And then every single week, a new course unlocks for you. So right now, I think we're at 110. So you'll get 101 to 104 immediately upon joining, and then every week you'll unlock a new class. And the sooner you join the academy, the more you stay closer to what everyone else, not everyone else, but the people who were there from the beginning, what their course continuation looks like. So if you join later, we might be on 130 when you're just on 104. Okay, so that's kind of how that works out. It's basically like classes. You know, you have your class up, you have your cohorts. So it's just like real school. Thank you, Felicia. She says the academy is the bomb. All right. Well, I'm glad you are enjoying it. And we'll be doing more content that you all want to see. So I have a post that I've been checking that Erica put up that says, share with Shannon, what do you want to see? So I want you all to comment on that because I'm taking your suggestions to heart, and those are the courses that I'm creating from what you want to learn. Felicia, you better get on this and do this stuff. I know you can do it. I know you got this. Okay, so for this design, I showed you how to change out the color. This is it. Like literally, you can change out this design in 10 minutes, okay? I'm just making this drawing out because I want to show you some extra stuff. Every time I get a chance to talk with you all, I want to make sure that I'm giving you a little something extra, okay? Felicia says you're trying to take control of the mouse when you're watching the videos. Yeah, and the classes are at your own pace. So although they may unlock every week, you know, sometimes Natanya, you're not gonna have time to go, you know, every single week and do them. But the idea is that not only is it a class for you every week, it's unlocking a new tool for you. So it might have fonts in there. It will probably be a template that you can use. It's always going to be something extra, some little gem from that session that's going to add to your arsenal. So it's going to add to your fonts. It's going to add to your design styles. It's going to add to your brushes. It's going to add to your templates. If you look, some of those templates are in the academy for the free ski, okay? So I want y'all to keep that in mind. Yes, I'm going to leave the leopard in there. Since I have the pro version, I can definitely do that. That's a good idea, Tara. So I will leave that in there. Yes, that's a great suggestion. Okay, so anything else y'all want to say? Oh, we said we were going to flatten this one. So I'm going to show you how you can use flat color and not the gradient. So let's say, oh, and y'all didn't remind me I'm supposed to put the leopard print on the different. Okay, so we're going to do that too. So let's go to my move tool while I'm trying to fill stuff. Let's go to different. And I'm going to do the same. Matter of fact, I don't even have to do the same thing. I can take this layer and I can alt, click and drag it, and see how it's a black and white arrow. That means it's making a copy of it. And I'm going to drag it right above the word different. Drop it. And this is what it would look like as an entire shirt. So what I'm going to do is right click and create a clipping mask. Okay, so that clipped it just to the word different. Do y'all see that? And maybe the way this is, I may not want the black outline because it's a little difficult. It should say difficult because it's difficult to read. So I may have to come in here with my effects and change up. I'm going to add a new stroke. In this stroke, instead of black, let's choose maybe the pink. And I'm going to choose one more color, one more stroke, and it duplicated that stroke. But now I'm going to make this stroke a little bit thinner than my other one. So my other one was 32. I'm going to make this 120 just to see what happens. And maybe I'll make this one. Let's just try the different colors here. The black, the green. I was trying to see what will make it stand out. But honestly, I think it's just that print is just really distracting, so it's gonna be different. Maybe the letter A would be better with the leopard print because the word different with the leopard is just a little too different for me. But did you see how, I'm gonna zoom in, how I was able to do two different outlines here? You can't do that in Affinity. You can do this in Photoshop. So I added an outline where I put the black and then a little hint of pink out there. Okay. Another thing is we can do a color overlay, and let me show you what a color overlay looks like versus a gradient. So color is just like a solid color, and you can go with that instead of a gradient. I'm just a gradient girl because I like things to look extra complicated, just a little extra. So instead of, that's the color overlay, I take it off and I see the gradient overlay underneath it. So that will all be on there. Now, if I felt like the leopard was a little too strong just by itself, then maybe I would choose black. I would turn on my leopard, and then I'm going to, on this layer mask over here, just kind of brush away some of my leopard, like make it maybe look like it's fading. From Control Alt right click, I'm gonna make a bigger brush just to see what that looks like if it fades from my color overlay there, because you know I just can't have it plain. I just got to add some extra stuff. So now let me see what it looks like from black to the leopard, and then let's go white to the leopard. Now I think that looks kind of cool, but we got to zoom out and see. It still has a little pink behind it, but yeah, a little something different. Oh, so the Academy link, great point, guys. It's academy.innatelab, and then I don't like to put the .com, so I'm going to spell out .com. So it's academy.innatelab.com. And that's where the school is. So there are two different brains. There's the Academy brain, which is like the school brain. And then the Innate Lab website is more of the resources. So that's where you will order your ink. That's where you order your blanks. That's where you order or purchase your template files that you want to edit. And that's also where you can submit your art that you want printed on the big all over prints or the 13 by 19 prints. If you want us to ship them to you, that's where that happens, on the main Innate Lab site. The Academy is really solely for our learning group. Okay. So the breathe throws it off. Let's see. What if we change the word? Or are you saying the color? So we can change all of that. Let's do, as a matter of fact, let's do it. Let's change it to a flat color, because I said we were going to do a gradient version and then a flat color. So you can see that you can do flat color just the same. So let's do a color overlay. I don't know. I really like the pink and the green. Even though that pink is like really subtle in this design, I like it. All right, so, and you can use your imagination. Of course, you can change the words to whatever you want. I'm just not gonna put anything specific to get me in trouble personally. But if you're printing this for personal use, I'm sure you can put whatever you want on there. Okay, so let's do A, and let's make A instead of gradient. Let's do color overlay. Make it a solid color. Here we go. Now we have a little something to play with. And even just making it the tan up into the print does something. Anyways, I'm just giving y'all ideas. Don't let me keep y'all on here all night playing with this, because that is what I do, and this is why I end up getting myself in trouble. So we'll leave these colors so that you know you can do gradients, you can do flat. I'm going to leave all of these effects on here so that basically you'll be able to go backwards from one file to the other depending on which one that you purchase. So if you purchase the one with the cartoons, it's still going to have all of the edits that we just did. That's why I love doing these template tutorials live with you all, because y'all give me great ideas and inspiration. Yes, okay, so we have a consensus on the pink, so let's change it to the pink. Yeah, I'm liking that. That pink is really doing something for me with the leopard. I love mixing color with leopard. I I choose leopard as a neutral. So anytime I'm doing a design, I will pick any color to go with leopard. I used to have a pair of leopard shoes that I would create different little flowers and stuff to go on and different shoe accessories. So the accessories would be like orange, like a burnt orange, or lime green, hot pink, whatever my color was, and I would just put it with leopard, and it always went lime green. Anything goes with leopard. Like leopard is a neutral to me, anyway. You know, I'm a different breed. All right, so let's go ahead. Let's save this, and I wanted you to see that I did change that stroke, but we can always change it back. So there it is with the thicker stroke back on there, so that y'all don't get confused like, well, how did she change that? It's on there. If you need to do 2 strokes instead, there's your 2 strokes. Okay? All right. Yes, this combination. And this is what I'm saying. Like, y'all can take shoes. You can take artwork. Like, if you ever seen some really fire like artwork that just has some really nice colors to it, I like prints. Like when I see like the African prints and stuff, and I can like just take those colors, and I never would have picked that color combination unless I seen it, you know, like right in front of my face like that. So you could take a picture of the beach and see the sunset reds and purples, and throw them with the you know, the teal and turquoise waters and all of that. Create some crazy color palettes. You'll love it. All right, so now I'm going to reverse it back, so we'll know how to get back to the original layout. So you have this layout where you see that it's faded from the color at the bottom to the top. But before I do that, let me go ahead, and I need to turn things off so I can save. I need to turn off my little color palette. Well, I'll leave the color palette on there. It's not in the way. And then that way I can show you all how this looks. So let's go, let's export, save for web, make it really small so nobody can steal the design. I do 500 pixels. It's big enough for people to see what you're working with, but not big enough usually for someone to reprint your stuff boldly and try to put it on something. There we go. All right, so that's one. And then now same colorway, same thing here. We're going to just add our little zigzag bottom back here. And that's even a whole nother combination, but it doesn't give me enough of my pattern. So I'm going to turn off this layer mask here. I'm going to disable it. So now I have like my all over pattern without the little, because remember before we had a little bit of gradient breaking it up down here. So I have this version. I can go file, I can export that. And then that way I can see of these designs, and this is how I will proof it to someone. Because I'm not going to save this over and over again like large format style. I will save it as little proof versions, and then whichever one we go with will be the final. And oh, you know what I didn't do? I didn't put enough of that green in there. So I'll do that on the next one. I think you're right. Who was it? Uh-oh, I don't want to save over. I'm just talking. Let me put a 2 at the end so I don't save over my original. I think, yeah, we need a little more of that lime green. I totally forgot about it. I'm so in like with the other colors, especially with the leopard. Like these are my colors to throw with leopard. And then I just kind of forgot about the bright green color. Sorry. Let's throw it back on. So right now that's the white, and the white breaks up nice, but we definitely need to throw that lime color in there. And maybe that's all we need, because it is in there a little bit in the background of the black. But if we needed it somewhere else, we can always bring that layer back. What is this one? That's the pink. I like that one as pink. I don't know. I'll let the green just kind of be there. Like I said, this was a really awkward color combination. So That's my fault. But I think it came out cool. It made us think outside the box, which is always helpful when we're learning how to design and getting into some of these possibilities with the templates. Now, of course, you can always turn the leopard print off or on, but I'm going to leave it on so I can remind y'all that it's there. And we can always turn the glow on. So for this one, we'll make it funky. We'll go back to the glow, turn the outer glow back on, and it has that green to it. Okay, so we'll let that be what it is. And then if you need to check, make sure that everything that you don't mind getting cut off is within this text and photo save area, so that we keep that intact whether we're printing a small or a 3X. Okay, so that's your check. You need to do that every single time. So I'm going to turn it off though, because we're getting ready to save this as a proof. Export, save for web. And 500 pixels. And the Photoshop's kind of slowing down on me. Not 5,000, my bad. Let's hit save. And we'll save the smooth version 3. So we have our little bit more subdued version without those colors, because you can imagine you're not necessarily going to always have a shoe, but those colors make for a really nice color palette, and we weren't expecting to even find that color combination. So cool beans, we're done with this template edit. And like I said, I always like to give you a little more than what I would designing, because if I was designing this shirt, I would have had it done in 10 minutes. But I know that that you all are here to learn, so I like to throw a little extra in there. So anything else? Let's say, for instance, while I'm here, this is a little bonus. Let's see if we can kind of tone down the colors in the garments without toning down the skin tones, because I want to see those beautiful skin tones. So let's go to our photo. All right. And this is what, Christina. So make sure, Christina, that you message Erica Kane in the Innate Creatives Facebook group and let her know that your photo was used. So as soon as this template is available online, you can toss it in your cart, and I can go in from the back end and comp that file for you, so it will be completely free. Okay, just for your participation and allowing us to use these beautiful faces as models for this particular template. And I see a little hard line here. I'm gonna have to handle that. I'm gonna go get my paintbrush, bring that brush size down a little. I'm on my layer mask. I'm just gonna fade that off a little. Oh, that's the I see it, but that's really the oh, whatchamacallit over there. That leopard print over there. All right. So I have it faded off, and maybe these colors are just a little too bold for my muted color palette. All right, so I like the muted color palette. And I'm going to do a layer, new adjustment layer, and I'm going to go to hue saturation. And I'm also going to use the previous layer to create a clipping mask. Now I'm going to kind of ignore the skin tones right now. I'm just looking at the clothing. What I'm going to do is just overall just bring my saturation all the way down. If I bring saturation down, automatically my colors start to dull out. And I don't want to take color completely out, because if that's the case, I would just make the image black and white. Everybody would be wearing black and white. But they're wearing some of the colors that are in here. So I'm dulling down the saturation so that this pink more or less matches this pink. Her brown kind of goes now with the leopard print. And this blue is not quite that blue, but I'm going to show you how to make it that blue. So we can go to the picker here. And I'm going to pick the color from her shirt. It's telling me it's a cyan. So because I know it's a cyan, I'm going to crank up the saturation just so I can see what I'm changing. And I'm going to make it more of a blue. So pull it away from the greens and pull it more towards the purples, but of course blue. And then I'm going to make my color a little bit darker. just a little bit, and bring down the saturation, because this blue is dull because it's not quite a pure blue. It's more of a gray blue, right? Matter of fact, when I was picking the color, it looked more like gray than it did like blue at all. And I'm going to bring my lightness up a little bit. See how I'm kind of almost mimicking that same color without too much effort? So that's just the apparel, right? And now I have to bring back their skin color, but good thing there is a layer mask here, and I can grab my paintbrush, make it a little bit smaller, and I don't know where, I have a little stylus that disappeared, so I'm gonna have to use my mouse, but I'm just gonna color back in the skin. Now you have to be a little more precise with this because you don't want to color over the clothing, but I can always color, and then what we're doing is we're coloring with the black. If I added too much color somewhere, I could just go back and add the white. So I'm just bringing it back, that beautiful skin tone there. And then that way my ladies have colors that, you know, kind of match the little theme we got going on here. And see for here, see how I missed, and I'm going to miss and do it a little bit more. See how I missed and brought back too much of the original color? All I would have to do is switch to white, color back over that, and voila. Do the black, bring the skin tone back. And I think her outfit had a little bit of brown to it too. That would be fine. And see, I went a little too much into the brown here, and it's just not very, very subtle. So that color is a little too bold. So I'm going to go back with my white and take down that color. And I'm not being perfect, y'all. I'm literally doing this with my mouse with my finger freezing up, because anytime I hold down my mouse, my pinky finger just sticks up in the air like it doesn't know what to do with itself. So I don't like to use the mouse for things like this. I rather use I have a touchscreen tablet that I tend to like to scribble with. So we have white selected. I need black now because I'm revealing. Well, I'm concealing the color mask. You see here, it kind of brought in a little too much of that bright color from the necklace around her neck. So if I really wanted to get real technical with this, I would zoom in real close and try my best to kind of not color in the areas that I didn't want. So I'll make that smaller. Now I have to get in there to that necklace and kind of make sure that didn't quite make it. Then the necklace looked neutral. But that's not something I want you to spend so much time doing, but I want you to know those tools. I want you to know those nuggets, because as much as I don't like to do this type of stuff, like I don't like to recolor images unless it's like necessary. A lot of times, depending on the project, let's say for instance graduation, and I know that it's for school theme, school colors, I will go in and change colors a little bit. I'm supposed to charge for that, but it just depends on how I'm feeling. If I'm doing remembrance shirts, I often do like color changes to make it match the theme, because I care a lot about those type of projects, and I put a little more care into those type of projects. Okay, so I'm bringing that skin tone back. What you think? One more. Let's turn the black on, and let's make sure we get skin tone there. See, I went a little too far into the clothing there, so I'm going to have to correct that. That pretty white smile. And I don't have to too much worry about getting on this white because it probably doesn't have a lot of color tint to it anyway, or hue to it. So now I do need to come back here with the white and clean up where I went a little too far right there. Okay, and then I didn't get enough here, so I see a little gray streak on the face, and it's because I didn't quite get enough of it. All right, that's it. That's it. So let me show you the difference. You tell me whether it matters. I'm going to turn off the color adjustment that we did to the clothing and turn it back on. Does it make a difference? Tell me if I'm tripping or that really made a difference. I'm just a person, I'm matchy, probably to a great flaw. All right, so now I'm going to export that one. So those of you who waited to the end will see that part, and y'all are gonna be playing with that that color stuff. I know it, especially when it comes to changing outfits to make them match the outfit. Like John Witherspoon says, you gotta coordinate. All right, so let's do 4 now. Yeah, the arm looks off, and that's just because the image itself is cut off. Let me take this off. Let me disable the layer mask. Or are you saying the color was, the color of the arm? Or are you just saying that the arm being gone in and of itself? Because I can disable the layer mask and it's still got this like blunt cut off. But yeah, this arm, yeah, I got to bring that back. So enable layer mask. Yep. So I left my love's arm looking a little ashy. Is that what you're saying? Let me go ahead and add that color back. Yes. I know y'all paying attention. Y'all better pay attention. I'm telling you, y'all keeping me on point. All right, so let's go ahead and color the arm. I thought you were saying the arm's hanging off the edge. Okay, so definitely, put that little tricep in there. I see that tricep popping. All right, let's get that back in there. Then this arm too, looking a little dull. There we go. So welcome to my world of being extra. I hope you all don't fall to the extra team as much as I do, because I tell you, it does cost you some time and some energy. But you end up liking what you're doing a lot better. So that's what it's all about. All right, so I'm adding that color back. Like I said, I'm being pretty crude here. I'm literally doing this with the mouse with my finger cramping up right now. So I know y'all can do this. All right, so y'all, like I said, y'all the best. Y'all the best. Y'all got this. So now this is more believable. We don't have like a transformer arm and then like a regular arm anymore. They're all colored. All of these beautiful colors are, kind of more harmonious now. It looks like the mauves is mauve here instead of a hot pink in her dress. Looks like that slate blue is a little more slate blue now. And if I'm not happy, I'm going to go back to my cyans and maybe bring that saturation down a little bit, and I can meet that gray a little better. I can go to my magentas now that I have my skin tones evolved. Let me go to magentas. That's usually my pinks. And I can crank it all the way up just to see where the pinks are, where the magentas are. And I can crank it back down. I can make it lighter or darker. Same thing with my reds. Reds, I can crank it all the way up, see where reds are. Well, there's a lot of red. Then I can crank it down, make it lighter or darker. And I can even shift the color, so I can bring it to or away from. Like that's bringing it more towards purple. That's bringing it more towards green. And I can just give it more of a little mauve color. Like I said, this is all stuff that can get you carried away and get you in trouble. I'm going to bring that white back right here. Around this little neckline there. Okay. But overall, I'm happy. Tara says, just showed her about 5 new things during this. Yes, yes. During this 10-minute tea tutorial. So really it's supposed to be about just switching out, the stuff. But yeah, if I can show y'all some things that, okay, let me be real with you. If this was my design for me, let me show you some extra stuff I would throw in there. Yes, yes. I always forget to tell you all, please like, subscribe, hit the bell, put it on all for notifications in the future because usually I'm randomly going live. So I would like to be more planned, but if I were a more planned person, I probably wouldn't be on here creating stuff like I create. Okay, I'll probably be doing like taxes or something. So just enjoy my randomness, and accept me and my lateness and all that I am. And I promise I will do everything I can to provide you all with great content, really valuable tools and lessons and things along the way. I even teach you the things that I do wrong and tell you to doing better than me. All right. Yes, late at night. So it's 11. I'm going to go ahead, save this, wrap this up. I have one more, I have the Bebe's Kids one to do. But because I got so many cute pictures for the Bebe's Kids one, I need a little time to figure out which one I'm going to use, which photo I want to use. So, yeah, I'm gonna have fun with the Bebe's Kids one. I think y'all will too. So if you don't know what the Bebe's Kids one is, let me see if I can pull it up real quick. So if you have not provided a picture for the Bebe's Kids one, I'm not gonna select it tonight because I'm getting a little tired myself. And I like to have you all hanging in there with me because y'all help me really create a better experience for these templates. So that's my Bebe's Kids one. So what I need also, I need a alternate colorway. I guess I can do what I did today and just kind of pull something online. But it would be better if it was for like a sneaker that you all really wanted to see something match, or even like school colorways, that sort of thing. Your favorite teams. Like I like to show you all that, yeah, you can, if you like, San Francisco 49ers or whatever, you can use the theme colors and just do your own thing. You don't have to infringe on the logos and, the photos and that sort of thing. You can just kind of play with it and make it, just use the colorway and people will get the gist of it. Okay. So, that's if you're selling it. Of course, if you're making it for yourself, put whatever you want on there. Make it your own. Oh, Cynthia, I see y'all gonna have me on this listen all day. Let me show y'all some of these cute pictures. I see you, Courtney. Look at this, Minnie. These gorgeous girls. Oh, the babies. And Tyler has the three peats here, so that might get it just because it's three of them, and they're so cute together too. But I think Corey did one that was just so cute too. These babies are gorgeous. So what I will start to do too is just I have like a little collection of some of the pictures, and every now and then when I'm looking for images to pull into a new template, I'll pick from your templates instead of random images. Yes, that one. She says Pee Wee. Oh Lord. Ah, the Flintstones. I didn't even think of that. So yeah. Oh, that looks good, Stephanie. I don't know if you're on here, but that looks great. Yeah, I haven't been on the group in a little bit to really explore it with you all. But this also has a font, and it's like a tribal, like kind of cool tribal font that you can use for other things too. It just happens to kind of have that Bebe's Kids look to it. So it's going to be another font that you can purchase online. Like I said, I'm trying to find things that kind of, go with the times, kind of take people back, have a little nostalgia, but also are timeless. So you can use this font over and over and over again. I'm also doing a house party one. I don't know if y'all know about House Party, but that's one of my favorite movies from back in the day. So just, kind of going back a little bit for some requests that you all have and some things that I want to see. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and save. Hopefully I saved what I was working on, because I tried it if I didn't. And I didn't, so I tried it. We learned a little bit about using the pattern tool today. I didn't have to save that. Oh, Scooby. So this is what I need y'all to do. I need you to put these ideas on the share with Shannon, like what y'all want to see. Okay. And I finally started doing some of the cartoon styles. I have, like, for the kid and play, I have like a boondock style, and then I have a Rugrat style for Cardi. So what I'm going to do is also, like I said, I'm working on a million different things at once, but I'm going to offer the cartooning service. Most of it is not me. It is my brother and others that I have helping me, because I don't have time to hand sketch like I used to. So I kind of just provide the references, and that's why y'all be wanting me to do these things. I'm not fast. I don't want to do a tutorial on showing y'all how to go to Illustrator and create cartoons, because I am slow. It's all get out. It takes me like 9 hours, like no lie, 9 hours to make a vector, because I make a vector cartoon. So it's not fun. And I definitely don't want to switch y'all up and take y'all all the way to Illustrator. But there are some Photoshop techniques and filters and things that I will be sharing with you all, how to make things look cartoony-ish. But am I going to teach y'all how to cartoon? No, I'm not the best at it. It takes me forever and a day. There are much more talented people with much better tutorials than I could ever provide on that. Plus, there are people that can draw for you a lot quicker. There are references like Fiverr that you can use, even though I know a lot of people get burned on Fiverr, getting some kind of, trash, but there are resources out there. So don't let something hang you up and make you feel limited. Do what you have to do to make your business thrive. Yes, Procreate. That's what my brother uses. He's trying to tell me to get into Procreate. I'm one of those hard-headed people like, no, Photoshop. I've been on Photoshop for 20 years. Like, I can literally say I've been using Photoshop for 20 years. Since, 10th grade in high school. So, yeah. It's kind of hard to break me from Photoshop. Even with Illustrator. That's why it takes me so long to do stuff on Illustrator. I'm not an Illustrator girl either. I can't really stand it. But when you need vector, that's your go-to. Illustrator is your go-to when you need vector. All right, so yeah, Procreate. Felicia, I'd like to see what you're working on Procreate. I haven't gotten into it yet. Matter of fact, I think it's on one of these tablets, on one of these iPads, and I have not even ventured to try it yet. All right, so yes, we're going to be doing the cartoon services kind of as its own little setup and offering. We're trying to make this a one-stop shop. So y'all let me know what y'all need as far as resources for designs and that sort of thing. I want you to be able to show people, the Innate Lab page, and be able to say, okay, well, tell me what you want to see designed. What do you like? So they should be able to scroll, pick something within a category of what they want to see. So this has to be filled out. I have to know what categories y'all need to see, what type of design. Now, it's just going to be sublimation, because I'm not doing all that vinyl files and stuff. I've kind of outgrown that, because it got to a point where it was so physically intensive to have to weed and do all of that if I can't do a sublimation and convince people to get a white shirt or to print all over on a white shirt, then I just kind of send them to someone else. So maybe eventually I'll be sending folks to y'all if you still doing the vinyl and stuff. Good job, Felicia. Well, I'd like to see, you said you did 3 cartoon pics. I'd love to see that. Yeah, that's something. I've never been the best sketch artist. I can look at something and recreate it to a T, but just being very original in how you interpret something is not it's not my forte. I can do it, but it takes a lot out of me. Okay. All right, loves. So I think we had a little good extra conversation tonight. We'll cut this tutorial to an end. I can't say short because we've obviously been on here for almost an hour and 30 minutes. But if there's anything else that you want to see, make sure that you're in the Innate Creatives group and that you're participating. Let me know what it is that you want to see. And regardless of how long it takes me to do it, I do listen to you all. And I do incorporate most of the wanted and the top wanted things either in the academy, in the YouTube videos, or in the templates. Yeah, it's a process. That's cool though. That it should be a process, and it should be something just like you learning to cook, or learning to draw, learning to drive. It is a process. But the more you sit through it and you start to step back and recognize your potential, that pride grows, and that pride grows into, I can't say perfection because we're never perfect, but it's going to grow to be marketable, put it that way. Somebody will buy it. It don't have to be perfect. Somebody will buy it. And then as you get better, more people will buy it. Okay. So that was my problem. I used to try to be perfect before I would put something out. Don't do that to yourself. Put it out there. As unsure as you might be about it, somebody is sure they will buy it from you. Okay. And all it takes is those couple of sure people to motivate you and pay you, your $20 and $30 here and there for something that you didn't even want to put out there. And then it encourages you to work on that craft even more, and it gives you a reference for your future work. So please put something out there. I encourage you to do it. I'm telling y'all the stuff that I did that took me a long time to do what I do. I'll tell you how not to be like me, to be better than me. Okay. Be better than me. Put something out there. The world, what Gary Vee said, the world doesn't need you when you're perfect. The world needs you now. So you have enough resources and training and just wherewithal behind you right now to do something better than the person who hasn't started where you are right now. So you have something to offer even at this moment. And the more we can kind of accept that and realize that and appreciate that about ourselves, we won't be so inhibited when it comes to letting our talent show. Okay, somebody needs that. Somebody needs to see what you're doing right now, so that when you get better, they can say, "Oh, that's where you started." But even when you started, you was making bank. Yes, let's put it out there. Let's do it. Come on, Felicia. Let's see it, baby. All right, loves. So that was my little coaching said, I'm going to open up an academy for the coaching too. Like, come on, we can do it all. I just won't sleep, okay? All right, loves, I really appreciate you all. I see we have 26 people here right now, so I'm going to tell all 26 of y'all that I appreciate you dearly. Thank you for sticking it out with me, especially late night. And I love y'all for real. Y'all know what's next. Bye.